Hi friends, welcome back to Studio Classroom Worldwide. Well, our article today is discussing a special ship called the Odyssey. It's equipped with high-tech sonar, perfect for locating sunken treasure. Treasure sometimes worth millions of dollars. Maybe you're asking, can the Odyssey go anywhere in the world and claim treasure off the ocean floor? Before we answer that question, let's look at the phrase fair game and the word respective. The first phrase, fair game, as in, I don't think the president's son should be fair game for the media. Leave him alone. And the second word, respective, as in, the four senators were all putting extra money into their respective states' budgets. Well, I trust knowing these two words will help us understand the reading a little better. The reading begins on page 47, so please open your magazines and follow along as we read.
Sea gold. Odyssey only targets vessels that are considered fair game under international laws. This usually means commercial ships that have sunk in international waters, since non-commercial government and military vessels are the legal property of their respective countries. The only exception is if Odyssey has a pre-existing agreement with a country. In 2002, the company agreed to a deal with the UK government to share potential spoils from the HMS Sussex, a British ship that sank in 1694. The agreement stalled under heavy criticism from British archaeological organizations.
Welcome back. We're talking about Odyssey Marine Exploration, a company that goes into the open sea and rescues or salvages hidden treasures from old shipwrecks. And our article says that Odyssey only targets vessels that are considered fair game. And let's look at that word, targets vessels. A vessel is another word for a large ship or a large boat. And targets here is not a noun, but here it's used as a verb. And so this company only aims at or targets ships that are considered fair game. Rachel, what does fair game mean?
Well, let me give you an example, Chip. If I have a plate of cookies and I bring it into the office and I just set it on the table, well, then those cookies are fair game. Anyone can help themselves to those cookies. Therefore, anyone in the office, not one particular person. So here we're saying that sometimes a thing or a person is available to everyone, available for criticism or for use. Anybody can go after these ships. So they are going to ships, or they're targeting ships that are fair game under international laws. In other words, they're not breaking the law by doing this.
That's right. And they don't belong to any one particular nation, so they're fair game. It's not stealing, they're fair for anyone to take.
Exactly. And our author explains this a little further by saying, this usually means commercial ships that have sunk in international waters, since non-commercial government and military vessels are the legal property of their respective countries. Whoa, that is quite a sentence, isn't it?
That's a very long sentence.
I think first we need to just look at that word commercial. I think this is a useful word to learn. When we talk about something that's commercial, like a commercial ship, what do we mean by that, Chip?
Well, a commercial ship is a ship or a boat that exists for the purpose of buying or selling a product.
Right. You know, a lot of boats will go around the world, they'll go to different countries, and they'll take their products as imports or exports to different countries, and they're buying and they're selling things. But let's say one of those boats sinks. Well, that's when Odyssey can go in and try to recover whatever treasure might be in the boat. But the boats they're not allowed to touch are the non-commercial boats, because the non-commercial boats are usually government boats or military boats, and they belong to the respective countries. You can't tamper with those.
That's right, and you use the word respective, which is one of our word bank words. That word doesn't have anything to do with showing respect, does it?
No, that's a different meaning. Here we're using it as an adjective, and if we're talking about these respective countries, we're just talking about the individual countries, the countries that own the different kinds of boats. So often we'll use this word when we're talking about two or more of something because it's referring to each individual country, the respective countries. Now, there is an exception to this, we see. You know, Odyssey can only go after the commercial boats, but there's an exception, and what is that, Chip?
Well, if Odyssey has an agreement or a pre-existing agreement with that particular country, then that country will allow Odyssey to come in and claim its possession.
Well, the article gives us an example of this, and our author tells us that in 2002, the company, the Odyssey company, agreed to a deal with the UK government. Now, the UK refers to the United Kingdom, and so they made a deal with the UK, and they said, if we find some spoils or some treasures from this particular boat, we will share them with you. But they weren't sure if they had the spoils yet or not. We see it's potential spoils. And spoil here again means just treasures or goods that are left over.
That's right. A treasure that you might win, or maybe a prize that you would win. You could call that some of your spoils. From the HMS Sussex, the Sussex, that's the name of this British ship that sank 300 years ago.
Okay, that sank 300 years ago, but they just found it, I think, in the year 2002. So it sank in 1694, and probably the people behind Odyssey were really eager to find what was in this boat. However, as you know, sometimes people don't agree, and even though they had an agreement, it stalled. It stalled under heavy criticism from British archaeological organizations. My guess is that the British didn't want to share their spoils after all. Maybe they wanted to keep them all for themselves. So sometimes this happens, doesn't it, Chip?
That's right. The archaeological organizations, or organizations that salvage old artifacts from history, gave heavy criticism, so they were criticizing the company Odyssey, and that really slowed down the process of deciding who gets this product, who gets this material.
Exactly, who gets the treasure. So as far as we know, maybe nobody has yet gone after the treasure. We're not sure, but obviously it does create a problem if everybody wants it, right? Well, right now we need to visit the chat room, so don't go away.
Hi everyone, welcome to the chat room. Hi Ken.
Hi Linda, welcome back to the chat room. It's great to have you with us today.
Thank you, it's great to be here. So Ken, what would you like to chat about today?
Two interesting usages. The first one is targets. It seems to be used as a verb here, but usually we see this word as a noun, don't we?
Yes, target is quite common as a noun. You know, a company may set a target or a goal when it's trying to reach something. For example, in sales. Or we might shoot at a target.
Yes, that's what I was thinking of. But in our article, it says the Odyssey only targets certain vessels. Does that make those particular vessels targets?
Exactly. When you target something, you make it your target, or that is what you aim for. So they only aim for those ships or go after those ships. And if something is on target, then it means we get it right. That's an idiom for you.
Target 可以当名词，也可以当动词。当名词用 ，target 可以是打靶用的靶子、目标或者标的。如果你达到的目标，你就是 on target。当动词用 to target something， 就是瞄准、设定目标。
So what's the other interesting usage point that you want to talk about today?
The other usage I find interesting is spoils. It seems to be used as a noun here. Usually when I think of spoil, I think of the verb and something going bad.
That's right. But spoils with an S means what you find after a battle that you can take as a prize, kind of. Goods or property that you win, so to speak. We often talk about the spoils of war.
Oh, I get it. And they aren't spoiled at all, are they?
No, in fact, they're quite the opposite.
Spoil 我们知道是破坏、损害或者腐烂，但是当名词用复数形 spoils 表示掠夺来的物品，比如说 the spoils of war 就是战利品。
Thanks for that explanation, Ken. And now let's go to Michelle for today's language tips.
Hi everyone, I'm Michelle. 这篇文章第一个重点，我们来看 salvage 这个动词。salvage 在这里是指打捞。例如 valuable antiques and artwork were salvaged from the sunken ship. 价值不菲的画作以及艺术作品从沉船中打捞出来。salvage 也指抢救。例如 the flood victims tried desperately to salvage belongings from their houses. 水灾的受灾户拼命地试着从房子里抢救出他们所拥有的财物。接下来我们看的是 fair game 这个成语。Fair game 不是指公平的游戏，而是指可以抨击及嘲笑的对象。例如 The senator's recent odd behavior became fair game for his opponents. 这位参议员最近怪异的行为成为对手抨击的目标。或者是 This pop singer who was involved in a car accident became fair game for the press. 这位涉及车祸的流行歌手成为媒体追逐的对象。最后我们看的是 respective 这个形容词。Respective 是指各自的，或者是各有分别的。例如 The students returned to their respective schools after the summer camps. 夏令营结束之后，学生们就回到自己各自的学校。或者是 We chatted about our respective jobs at the party. 我们在派对上聊到各自的工作。And that concludes our language tips today. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Michelle. Friends, wouldn't it be exciting to work aboard the Odyssey, pulling up sunken treasure and artifacts hundreds, maybe 1,000 years old? Well, join us again tomorrow as we look into some of the complications that come from recovering sunken treasure. So, from all of us here at Studio Classroom Worldwide, we say goodbye and have a great day.
Worldwide. Studio Classroom Worldwide.